Welcome to Your Town. I'm Jessica Ryan. I am excited to be joined today by Paula Calvert, who's the CEO of Family Services of the Upper Ohio Valley. This time of year is very important to make sure you're checking on your neighbors. If you're not familiar with with Family Services, it's a senior service provider. Paula, can you just walk us through the mission and some of the programs that you run at Family Services?
Thank you so much for having me, Jess. The main focus of our mission for Family Service is to make sure that individuals are allowed to stay safely in their home for as long as they feel the need to. And that's the word safety. We want to make sure that we're checking on our neighbors, especially this time of year where people get isolated and a little bit lonely and the weather's not so nice. You know, you don't see them out and about. Please go check on them. You never know what they might need. The other thing for our services is that we provide those extra touches for those seniors. We provide transportation, the need to remain independent and to be able to take care of your basic needs, going to the doctor's office, going to the bank, going to the grocery store, keeping that independence where you don't have to be reliant on the other individuals in your life. And then that way you don't feel, sometimes I always say, well, I don't want to be a burden and I don't want to bother anybody. You have that independence. And that's one of the main things about living safely in your home is being that independent person that you choose to be. The other basic problem that we have in the High Valley is sometimes the location between where the people live and where the grocery stores are, and having that food security is a big part of Family Service because we have the Meals on Wheels program for Ohio and Marshall County, and just having that extra person checking in on your loved one sometimes is all they need. But our meals are nutritious, and you have a friendly driver that is there every day. And unfortunately, sometimes we do run into situations where seniors did need medical help. And just having that peace of mind, knowing that somebody else is checking on you, sometimes is all that you need to remain independent in your home. We also provide non-medical in-home services, meal prep, light vacuuming, changing your bed, because sometimes that's a chore in itself, along with laundry. And, if you do need that personal care or just somebody there while they take a shower in case they fall, that security allows them to stay where they love, their home. And that's the best part about our program is we allow individuals to be independent and live where they love. And our community is a great community. As you know, Jess, from the United Way, we have, people we can rely on. All of our agencies are not independent. We work together as a collaboration. And that's the best part is that if I don't know the answer, I have a whole group of professionals that I can rely on. The biggest thing that I love about my program is transportation. That being able, and I can't stress that enough, being able to be independent, that if I want to schedule that I want to go to Kroger's next week and get what I need and shop for myself and do something that is normal, that we take for granted. And sometimes we take it as a chore. They think that this is such an adventure because it's their shopping. No one is telling them what they get or how long. It's them. And it's your independence, and you get to go where you need to go, when you need to go. And that's the best part. Is that you are a person and you're treated with dignity.
And to follow up on that, Paula, through the United Way, you've taken the volunteers who come out to hear about your organization. You've walked them through what it looks like to try to be just a normal functioning, very healthy, that can get around on their own type of person to get from point A to point B in the Valley. Transportation is a very big issue here. Hopefully a lot of those things are being addressed. But when you're a senior, it's even harder. There's distances that a middle-aged, healthy person may be able to walk if they need to get their groceries and then have to carry them back to their home. When you're a senior citizen and you have that distance, it's triple that distance because of the bodies that they've, lived great long lives and been active people in the community. And now they need that little bit of help. So the transportation thing really is key and is a valuable thing for seniors in this community.
The best part I also like about our transportation is we have accessibility vehicles. And so that if you're on a scooter, if you're in a wheelchair, you don't have that physical limitations where we have to maneuver you. You stay in your chair, you stay in your scooter. So that doesn't, it lessens the impact of your physical demands that you have to worry about. And then, trying to find somebody who has that vehicle that will allow you to be independent, to fold up your chair or to have a scooter, those kind of things people don't think about that. Well, call the bus. Sometimes you're not on the bus line. And the other thing is we're a point A to point B service. So we pick you up at your house and, take you to the location. And, having that ability to not have that physical stress on somebody is huge. And that's the part that we love. And a lot of times our employees come back and they learn more from the person than the person is being helped. And that's the other fun things that I love about the in-home program. We had a younger caretaker that says, the chili recipe that I learned from this lady was just amazing. And so it's that interaction of give and take, and those things are those great recipes that girl shared and now has something that she has in her home that was shared by somebody that she was taking care of. So really, who helped who? And that's the best kind of thing that I really love about our programs, is that you're there for them, but somehow that person touched you. And that's a great segue to where we have positions open. We have 10 in-home care workers because we are expanding. So if you can only work Mondays, I have a client for you. If you only want to work 15 hours a week, if you want to drop your child off at childcare and then come work a couple hours and be home, that is possible. We don't have nights, we don't have weekends, and it's non-medical, so we will train you. And we have background checks. And so we always try to find the client that's best suited for the person and the person that's best suited for the client. So I love our programs. I cannot tell you how much I love my job. But we have positions available for you, and I would love for you to join us.
That's great, Paula. And I think another thing you're touching on there with the caretakers is that if you have older parents or you're a grandchild and you take care of your grandparents, you're here, you're local, you can reach out, you can touch them, and you can take them food, you can help with transportation, you can take them to those doctor's appointments. But there's a very strong population here that don't have those family type of caretakers, and that's where Family Services comes in to help.
Yeah, it's a great program. And a lot of times, like I said before, the person who works here gets more than the person that you're helping. And, that work-life balance that we always stress and saying, hey, look, you need it to be there for your family. We need somebody to help with another family. So it's a perfect match. So it's Monday through Friday. Contact me, 304-233-2350. My extension is 105. And you call today, I could get you on an interview on Monday. The process is smooth, trying to get into the system. We are background checked from West Virginia Care, so that ensures that the people that we are putting in people's homes, have been screened. And so we take pride in that we are required from the state. But I like that part because you have that safety and that security that the individuals in your home is somebody you want in your home. And for the Meals on Wheels program, good food. That's the best part about it. It's healthy, but we throw in some local flair. We have the cabbage rolls and we have the stuffed peppers. That's Ohio Valley. And that's the other part that I love, is it's healthier, but in those days you have to get some Ohio Valley in there.
That's right. I love it. So we always talk on the show, if somebody wants to get involved, so you mentioned if they're looking for work, but if they're looking for volunteerism, to be a part of fundraising for your events, to donate either goods or financially, how can they get a hold of you? What are those opportunities?
They can call me, 304-233-2350. My extension is 105. If you say, hey, look, I need some community service hours for my, football team, I have boxes you can pack. There are little things that you can do, and saying, hey, look, I have this cleaning supply closet from my aunt who, doesn't need these things anymore. We have clients that are in need. If you have a local organization that says, we would like to do a food drive, call me. We can partner you up with whatever need and however you need to volunteer, because we're here for you and your community.
Well, you're a strong community partner, and we're certainly blessed to have you in Ohio County and Marshall County helping our senior population. So good job for you and your staff, and I hope you guys have a really successful new year.
Thank you.
Do you have a passion for working with animals? Check out the Zoo Science and Applied Conservation program at West Liberty University. Why West Liberty? You'll get hands-on experience with animals starting in your first semester. We have 6 on-campus dedicated lab spaces with over 300 different animals, plus a partnership with the Oglebay Good Zoo, an AZA-accredited institution with over 50 species of different animals, including rare and endangered species. You'll have the opportunity to work with a variety of reptiles, amphibians, and mammals under the direction of experienced experienced faculty, and even opportunities to participate in animal rehabilitation projects in places like Costa Rica. This program is ideal for anyone who wants to be a zookeeper, zoo researcher, conservation scientist, or work with an applied conservation government agency. Plus, we offer a graduate program in zoo science, so you can complete your graduate degree right here at West Liberty University as well. Our unique program has everything you need to find the career you've always dreamed of. Visit westliberty.edu/zoosci to find out more.
Welcome back to Your Town. I'm Jessica Ryan, and I am joined by Sharon Kesselring with the American Red Cross. She's their executive director of the River Valley. She is a wonderful person, very passionate about all of the services that American Red Cross has, some of which you may not be familiar with. I know at the start of a new year, everybody is looking to maybe be a little healthier, be a little more involved, turning over a new leaf. And we're starting the year out with the Media Blood Donor Day in January, which I'm familiar with. I've participated in for quite some time, Sharon. I think that's how you and I met. So can you touch a little bit on how important it is to give blood, the shortage that's happening right now, and how people can be a part of that?
Let me start off by saying good morning, Jess. You're looking great there, and I'm so happy that you could have me join you this morning from right here in my Wheeling office. And just to make sure everybody's aware, our chapter, the Ohio River Valley chapter, is 19 counties strong, and we have 15 counties in West Virginia, 4 counties in Ohio, with offices in Parkersburg, Wheeling, and over in Wintersville. So we've got the whole area covered, especially with volunteer response. But the blood donor activity that we've got going here, first of all, I have to thank everyone for paying attention to what we've been saying the past couple of months during the holiday season, because it really has made a difference. If you recall, last year we were using a word we'd never used before in January or any time in my 33 years with Red Cross, and that's the word crisis in the blood inventory. We were down to a half a day blood supply. It was a crisis, and we really had to come on strong, make sure people understood how important it was that they get blood. They listened to us this year during the holiday season. We were very strategic in the fact that we wanted people to understand that even if they got busy in the holiday season, we still needed them to give blood so that we didn't get to that crisis again this year. And as a result, we're still in a vulnerable situation, but we are not as bad as we were a year ago in January. So we appreciate and thank everyone for paying attention to those pleas that we were putting out there to everyone right before the new year. But now it is the new year, and we have our traditional Media Day blood drive coming up here in January. It's January 23rd and 24th, and we are from 11 until 5:30 both of those days. And this year we're over at Wheeling Island. So we are trying for 75 donors both days, pulled back a little bit from the goal, but made it a 2-day event so that we still had this large goal, but we're able to service our blood donors much more easily, make sure that they're getting through much more efficiently, shortening that wait time if there is even a wait time. So we think that this is going to go over very well. In addition to what they're used to with traditional t-shirts, this year a great long sleeve t-shirt that a lot of people add to their collection. But we also have our special food back, first time in a few years because of COVID. So we'll have some special food in addition to the refreshments that you're used to from Red Cross, the little cakes and cookies and crackers, things like that, and the juices. We'll have some additional refreshments there. So looking forward to that. And also, a big deal this year is the fact that everyone that gives through the end of January will actually be entered into a nationwide drawing for 2 tickets to the Super Bowl this year. Big trip. Not only do you get the 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, you get airfare, you get 3 nights lodging, you get a $500 gift card in that, you get tickets to the NFL experience while you're there, This is a huge package, and one that I know everyone wants an opportunity at. The way you do it is by giving blood. Why is it so important? Because obviously, based on what happened last year, people are starting to recognize there is no substitute for human blood. And it's important that we have it on the shelf, ready for donors, or ready for the recipients that are so desperate for it at the time, that they can get it immediately. Our hospital inventories are steadying out a bit, but we still are concerned. And quite frankly, at this time of year, we're already experiencing things like cancellations due to weather, due to a pullback on how many donors are coming in due to illness. And we're not just talking COVID, we're talking the flu, we're talking respiratory issues, things like that. So it's important that we still take the time to make sure we're giving blood, because you never know whose life may depend on it. It could be someone you love.
That's right. And Wheeling Island Hotel Casino Racetrack, that's the last place when I gave blood. That's one of the last place that I went to. Very welcoming, a good community organization, a good community company who is really involved. And I'm glad that you're partnering with them this year. They have a great team over there in that facility. And I love I really do. I think as silly as it is, you should just want to give blood, right? You should just want to do what's right. But there's always an email coming through. I have the app, so that tracks all of my blood donations, and I receive
you. Yay.
have the emails and the notifications, and there's always something. If you, by the end of the month, there's a gift card that you can either use or donate to a charity, or there's always something fun. And I was actually Stacy Stephen, the new director of the United Way, who let me know about the Super Bowl tickets, which I thought it's just a fun perk. It's another way to have a conversation around the importance of something like that for a big organization like the NFL, to provide that type of package for someone that is giving blood, that's being a donor of something that is so special and irreplaceable. Like you said, there's no substitute for it. So I love that. I think the media day is great. The snacks are always welcome. I have a couple of the shirts myself. So I think you really take care of the folks who come in. Nobody likes to have a needle shoved in their arm. We understand that it's not a pleasant experience, but it's really not that bad. We're adults. We've given blood. We've had IVs and all of that to this point. And the effects of the blood that you give and how that translates into the community is important. And I've mentioned before, when you and I spoke, about the emails that come up about where your donation went and the type of community that it's helping, and the people that really need it. That really brings home the reason that you go and take the time and give this type of donation.
For those of you that do have the blood donor app already downloaded to your smartphone, it not only gives you that opportunity to make your appointment on there and to see where the upcoming blood drives are, but also it allows you to see where your blood has ended up, like you say. And it's just such a warm feeling to know that you have really impacted maybe one, maybe two, up to 3 lives with that one blood donation, making sure that others can keep on enjoying life as you do. It is such a big difference. And so, yes, we need everybody to go online now, redcrossblood.org, or on the blood donor app, and schedule their appointment for the Wheeling Island blood drives on the 23rd and 24th from 11 to 5:30. If you're unable to get there, there will be other blood drives in the area listed. Make sure that you're signing up for someplace, because whether you can join us for media day or not, at least you are making sure that we've got the donors coming into all the other blood drives that we must have in order to have a steady stream of blood coming in at all times. That's the most important part, is saving those lives.
That's right. And those events happen all year round. And if you're not a consistent donor, you may not know that. So when you have the app, it lets you know how long it's been since you've given, if you're eligible to give again, and what local places are having them. They are all very accessible locations. I think there's been 3 or 4 different locations where I've been able to go when time permits, and it's very easy. So that app is really important.
And of course, on top of that, we also have a few other needs. And one of those needs is volunteers. We have started to come back a bit from what we experienced during COVID, and what all nonprofits seem to experience during COVID, which was the fact that people were a little unsure of themselves about volunteering for the different agencies in the area. We've started to come up back a bit, but we're not there yet by any means. And so as a result, what we're experiencing is that our volunteers that have come on board here recently are already starting to feel the heaviness of the load of the fact of what is going on in the area. For instance, our disaster volunteers are responding to so many disasters in the area. This fire season is really impacting us. And as a result, our volunteers are feeling that load and really need the help. If we had a volunteer here right now, we would have them saying how easy it is to register as a volunteer, how easy it is to be trained up as a volunteer, and how easy it is then to go ahead and give a bit of yourself to your community to make sure that those impacted by things like disasters of home fire, flooding, power outages because of ice storms where people are really impacted in that regard, that we're able to open shelters, we're able to make sure that people have lodging, emergency lodging after they've had a house fire, how people are able to have food, have their medications replaced. That's all because of our volunteers, our frontline troops that make sure that those services are out there. But we also have volunteer opportunities in all of our lines of service, including things like our service to armed forces, for emergency messaging, for working with our veterans, for making sure people are aware of what all we do with our armed forces. That's where we were born, was on the battlefield with Clara Barton, tending to those in the, impacted by the Civil War. But then also we have our training services, and right now that's really getting a spotlight for things like CPR classes. Hands-only CPR classes is also an opportunity. But it's so simple. You just go on redcross.org and sign up for a class, and that way you're able to become a lifesaver yourself in another way, other than giving blood. So, between blood services, disaster services, service to armed forces, training services, there's something for everyone to volunteer in at Red Cross. You can work at a blood drive if you can't give blood yourself. So many different opportunities. But also, from my kind of little selfish point of view, I need some board members. So if that's something that interests you of discussing with me about how to become a member of our board of directors, let me know. I'm happy to chat with you about that.
I'm a really big advocate for people getting involved in volunteerism, however they're comfortable. Some people don't want to be hands-on, and I understand that that's a personality type. But to use your time and talents as a professional or as somebody very passionate about this community or about different services, being on a board of directors, being on a committee, serving in that way, that is a volunteerism that really, really outkicks any type of other fundraising or any other type of ventures that you think you can do, because your time and talents are used to help an organization grow and develop. So I certainly encourage anyone interested, even if you're not sure, that's usually the thing. Am I ready to be on a board of directors? Call the director, call Sharon, have a conversation with her and see if it's a good fit for you. The time, the commitment, all of that, make sure it's a good fit before you honor it, but certainly call and have that conversation. We love to talk about organizations, right, Sharon? So call and have that conversation and make that introduction. And then one more thing I definitely wanted you to bring up. Well, first I wanted to mention my daughter is a certified babysitter, and she went through an American Red Cross training to do that. So those type of services are available through the website as well. It gives me the confidence for her to watch my friends' kids, and it gives her the confidence to know. It also makes the parents feel very good when I tell them that she is a certified babysitter through American Red Cross. And then let's talk about, now we're in the winter season. There are wood stoves in people's homes. There are some things out there that make us a little bit more nervous this time of year for things like house fires. And American Red Cross actually has a service about that as well.
Right. So we have a class called Be Red Cross Ready that helps people understand why it's so important to make sure, for instance, that if you're using a space heater, that it's 3 feet away from anything combustible, that it's plugged directly into the wall and not through, an extension cord. Just little basic things like that to keep people much more safe in their homes. This time of year especially, it's very important to have that knowledge. So if it's a free class, and just let us know if that's something that you're interested in taking, and we will make sure and get you into a class for that. Okay.
Sure. And then fire alarms, smoke detectors. I said fire alarms, but the smoke detector, that program as well.
Thank you for that. Yeah. So what Red Cross has been doing since 2014 is what we call sound the alarm. Sound the alarm is something where we educate people not only on how to quickly escape their home within 2 minutes of the start of a fire. That's how long you have to get out of your home, but also help them make sure that they have all the tools that they need, including smoke alarms. And we are able to install free smoke alarms in people's homes. And all they have to do is call an 800 number, which if you go on our website, you'll see it on our website, and it will get you into a system then where we'll have a volunteer call and schedule an appointment for them to come out and not only give you the education, but that's all while they're actually installing the smoke alarms. We don't just hand them to you. Jess, there's been too many news stories about firefighters finding smoke alarms that had never been installed in a person's home, or had no batteries in them in a person's home after a fatality of a fire. That's something we want to get rid of, and we want to make sure we can avoid that as much as possible, that loss of life. So Red Cross since 2014 has been doing that. It varies how we do it over the years, especially during COVID. But we had a lot of great partners helping to make sure that safety was still going on. And now we're back, our volunteers are back at doing that too. And that's something else that you can volunteer at, is to give that education and that installation free of charge to our community members.
It's such a vital service. I didn't realize when you and I first sat down and had a conversation, I had one fire alarm or one smoke detector in my home. It was right outside the kitchen. And I thought that was completely fine. It's not. Now I have 4 in my homes in important places, all because of this program. I set off the one in the kitchen every once in a while if I burn the bacon. But outside of that, I know that my family's safe. And when I hear that annoying beep, 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 I grab a new battery and plug it in there as soon as I can. It's there for a reason, even though it's so annoying, that beeping once it starts to die. You want to make sure, is it the first of the year that people should change their batteries or test their
every time we go through this time change, and we're setting our clocks back or setting our clocks forward, we also encourage people to change out their batteries on their smoke alarms. Now, the nice thing about the Red Cross smoke alarms is that they have 10-year batteries in them. And once that 10 years is up, you throw that smoke alarm away. You don't even change the battery out. Okay. That it's a lithium ion battery that you just don't fool with. So you just throw it away. And if your smoke alarms are 10 years or older, I don't care if they're hardwired in or anything, they need to be replaced. After 10 years, they may go beep, beep, even when you test them, but that doesn't mean the sensor is working properly. So it's important that you do the action that I've suggested them for smoke alarms in your home.
It's great. It's just ways to take care of your family. Again, the first of the year, we start to refresh. These are all things that you could refresh on. CPR, like you said, their hands-only CPR, getting your family safe through an escape plan. That's not the right word, but having that plan for something. There's an emergency
plan. Yep. Escape plan is the exact word. So, yep.
Great. So there are lots of ways. And if you want to volunteer, as we mentioned, either as a board member or as a volunteer for the Red Cross for some of that disaster relief or any type of donations you want to give to the organization, all of that, please reach out to Sharon at American Red Cross. She's very passionate, does a great job, has quite the coverage area, and is a member of every community she serves. So very proud of you and the work that you do, Sharon.
Thank you, Jess. I miss you already at United Way, but I know you're onto bigger and better things, and you just keep on going, girl.
Thank you so much. And my passion for the community stands. So I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for joining Your Town. I hope that you have a great start to your new year and that you're able to pick up a little bit more involvement in your community. We love the Ohio Valley, but it takes all of us to make it successful and have a wonderful community that we can love for years to come. So please get involved, reach out to the organizations here. You can still reach out to me, and I would love to connect you with some nonprofits in the community so that you can use your time and talent to help better the community. Thanks for watching Your Town. We'll see you next time.